Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Stanislow, and you're listening to another episode of Let's Go Low right here on AM 820, the Big 8 in Tampa. We'd like to thank you very much for tuning in. We're doing a lot of episodes every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And today we're talking more golf and the golf industry. And one of the biggest things in the golf industry is the golf ball. So I'm pleased to announce that we have Shaun Scheinfeld with us. He's the co-founder of foundgolfballs.com. And we're going to talk about the whole golf ball industry and, what it is, and kind of peel back the onions and peel back the layers of the golf ball itself. Shaun, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, that's great, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
So, Shaun, everybody hits the pills. Everybody loses the pills. And it's a big industry. The golf ball manufacturing, from the 800-pound gorilla of Titleist and the Pro V1 ball, to, people going into the woods and digging for balls and finding their own after they lose them and then holding on to them. So you play in the space of those guys that find the balls, and maybe they live on a golf course and they collect them and they have bushels of them in their garage, to refurbishing them, redoing them, and then getting back out to the marketplace. Is that correct?
That's correct. That's correct. So every year we bring in about 10 million used golf balls. We clean them, we brand sort them into the different brands: Titleist, Callaway, Maxfly, Nike, Bridgestone, every brand, Vice. And then we type sort those brands into about 10 different models. So within Titleist, you have your True Feel, your Tour Soft, your Pro V, and we go deeper. We go by generation. We go from 25 to 23, 20, 18. And then we de-logo them, meaning we separate the logo balls for the non-logo balls, and we sell them on our website, foundgolfballs.com, for about 50 to 80% off of new golf balls.
Fantastic. Shaun, that's really interesting. 10 million golf balls you guys move. And how do you know which golf balls from which generation? When you grab a ball and you get it, and like your guys are going through your systems, maybe we could talk a little bit about the process as well. But how do you classify the golf balls by generation?
It's a great question. So every manufacturer, for example, Titleist Pro V1, on the side seam has a different color. And the different color represents a different iteration. It's also the style, the aesthetics of the line of the side seam. So our team is trained to examine every single golf ball that we touch to put it into the specific generation. So a 25 will have a dot on the left versus a 23 on the right. So we have to be very particular, because golfers, as you know, are very particular. And that's what separates us a lot from the competition, is that we go that extra step, and by separating the generation and taking the logos out.
That is pretty cool. We're talking with Shaun Scheinfeld, and Shaun is the co-founder of foundgolfballs.com. This episode of Let's Go Low Show is brought to you by Golfers Unite, and our friends at Back Nine Golf, and our friends at AMAC, the Association of Mature Adult Citizens, amac.us. Following up on that question, Shaun, we got 10 million golf balls. You guys separate them by generations, which is incredible. I mean, tell us a little bit about the facility that does that. And then people are looking at by hand, and where's the facility at?
So right now we have two facilities, one in Anaheim, California, where the raw product comes in from the Southwestern United States, namely Arizona, California, and Florida. And Texas, and it comes into our California plant. We have about 15 people there grading the golf balls. So it goes through a washing machine, a washing cycle, and then so it gets all the dirt off and all the impracticals, and then it gets graded, it gets brand sorted at that point into Titleist and the different brands. Then they get shipped to our head office, our factory, which is here in Toronto, Canada. We bring about 250,000 golf balls in every 2 weeks. And from that point on, then we'll start the brand sorting, the type sorting, the generations, and then we'll pick, pack, and ship the golf balls. We have about 15 employees here in Toronto, and we pick, pack, and ship about 350 orders every single day to golfers.
That's fantastic. We're talking with Shaun Scheinfeld, co-founder of foundgolfballs.com, and Shaun has been generous enough to give our listeners at Golfers Unite a promo code. So if you go to foundgolfballs.com and you go to golf and you enter the code Golfers Unite 20, you can save 20% at foundgolfballs.com. That is Golfers Unite 20 at foundgolfballs.com.
The other thing that separates us, I just wanted to mention, is we can customize the golf balls. We can put your logo, for example, your name, your initials on the highest quality golf balls that we sell are pristine quality. So that also separates us in the fact that we offer a free logo on your golf balls when you order the highest quality, the pristine golf balls.
That's wow. That's amazing. Everybody kind of talks about like, putting logos on the golf balls, and I know Titleist usually has some special here and there. You buy 3 dozen and you can get a logoed ball. They do that once or twice a year, and but usually it's like $1 or $2 to put the logo on a golf ball. And you guys will do that if someone buys your pristine golf balls at foundgolfballs.com.
That's correct. So we have 4 levels. We have our pristine, which are perfectly new golf balls. They look like they just came out of the sleeve. Those qualify for free customization, or you can just order them as is. Then we have our mint, which is 1 grade below, which just means that there's some logos, pre-logos on the golf balls, and maybe a minor ink mark. Then you have your 4A grade A, then your 3A practice balls. And even the 3A practice balls are good for the everyday golfer, the 4A for the everyday golfer who has a high handicap, who doesn't want to break the bank, who wants to save 80% off new golf balls. I would encourage that 4A level for those players.
Wonderful. Giving some good insight in regards to the type of golf ball to play. I love it. We're talking with Shaun Scheinfeld, the co-founder of foundgolfballs.com. You're listening to Jeff Stanislaw, a host of Let's Go Low here on AM 820, the Big 8, every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 a.m. We encourage you to share this great stories with your listeners. And we also encourage you to go check out foundgolfballs.com and enter the promo code Golfers Unite 20 and save an additional 20% off on all those great golf balls. Shaun, diving a little bit deeper, some people have hesitation about buying a new golf ball versus a used golf ball. And you said your pristine ones are, almost new. You know what I mean? You can't resell them as new. You can't put them in the package. You can't sell them back to Titleist. Just tell us a little bit about, how many of those you sell. Like, you have 4 categories. Where do most of your purchases come from?
So 5% of the golf balls make the cut pristine. Only 5% out of the 10 million golf balls. So we're very strict on the quality, and they have to be looking brand new, not even an ink mark. So only 5, and then we go about 30% to mint, and then near mint, and then 3A. Some of the 3As we will refinish. We'll send to a factory in Ohio where we refinish them, and they're marked refinish on the golf balls. But the recycled balls that are pristine have literally been hit once. Once you hit a ball once, it's a used golf ball. So that this is we call them one-hit wonders. That's basically what they are.
I love it. One-hit wonders. I have a few of those in my bag for sure.
Exactly. And it's like a cow. I mean, every part of the cow, you have the filet mignon, right, which is the pristine, right? You have the rib steak. Then you have the lower parts of the cow, like the chuck, which is like your Maxfly noodles and maybe your older Kirkland balls. So every part of the cow gets sold off. Every part of the golf ball gets sold off. Different brands.
Yeah. And then do you guys take it down to, like, let's say there's a golf ball you guys can't use, or you don't send to the refurbishing thing. What do you do with it then? Do you guys have someone that comes and takes them, and then they basically, I don't know, you can't really compost
every golf ball gets sold, Jeff. Even we call them hit away golf balls. And if they sell for 15 cents a ball, they get sold. It's just that rump of the cow. But every piece of the cow is being
maybe the excrements of the cow, right?
Nothing. It could be a hot dog, but nothing is being wasted. So yes, it's just something we don't discard unless the ball's literally cut in half. Then it will be garbage. But 99.9% of the balls are sold.
No, Wow, I did not realize it. That's really interesting. We're talking with Shaun Seinfeld. Shaun is the co-founder of foundgolfballs.com, doing 10 million used golf balls a year. How many new golf balls are purchased in a year? If you guys are doing 10 million, I'm just curious if, through
Well,
all the
well,
brand.
yeah. The data out there, there was 150 million to 200 million from what I understand being sold.
Okay.
So, we're not the only cat in the game, but what separates us is we're very stringent on our quality. We stand behind our product 100%. Free shipping on any orders over $89, and free return. So we're 100% behind our product. If somebody is not happy, we give them a return label, exchange or return, no questions asked. There's definitely a huge guarantee in that industry for us.
Thanks, Shaun. This is Jeff Stanislow. You're listening to another great episode of Let's Go Low right here on AM 820, brought to you by our friends at Back Nine Carrollwood. Back Nine Carrollwood, you can just search it up and check out their great simulators with the TGLs. Our friends at golfersunite.com and our friends at AMAC, the Association of Mature Adult Citizens. It's amac.us. Shaun, you mentioned something that was kind of interesting. So, 150 million balls sold. You guys are doing 10 million on yours. That's a lot of golf balls in this industry. Everybody has to have one to play with. How'd you get started in the business? What led you down this path?
Yeah, so in 1997, my father, Gary, who was a serial entrepreneur, and he used to buy bankruptcies and closeouts. And one of the deals was used golf balls that somebody needed funding for to fund our local retailer. And my dad invested, I think it was $5,000 at the time, as he funded the golf balls. And he loved the idea, and he partnered up with him. And then we started, and then he brought it home, and I was 18 years old at the time. Before the internet existed, we started golf balls by fax. We would fax out order forms and
Oh
direct
my
mail,
gosh.
and customers would send cash at that time in the mail. I remember sitting on their front steps with my dad, and we were opening up the order form. Titleist professional golf balls, Titleist Tour Balata with your compression, your 90 compression, 3 dozen golf balls, $100 US cash. We were just opening it up and mailing it out. Then we did golf balls by fax, and that evolved into our first e-commerce website in 1999, just around when Amazon and eBay were coming out. Our first website was called KNet Golf, and we grew that, and that was the first iteration of it, and then it morphed into Found Golf Balls in 2014.
Fantastic. We're talking with Shaun Scheinfeld, co-founder of foundgolfballs.com. In my search and in working and selecting partners, one of the things that I was looking for was that quality golf ball, was that quality people behind it. And I found foundgolfballs.com, and the relationship has grown. And if you want an additional 20% off at foundgolfballs.com, just enter the promo code GolfersUnite20 in your checkout. Shaun, we got another minute or two and wanted to kind of, dive in a little bit more. Let's talk about the golf ball itself and some of these rumors that the PGA is actually going to change the golf ball. I would imagine you guys are in this and really understand it. What are your thoughts on them changing the golf ball? I don't like it myself personally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like it. I'm a creature of habit, and obviously change is part of life. It's the only inevitable thing, but I think that, you know, that is not going to be a great thing for the industry, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We have to roll with the changes as well. Um, so yeah, we'll see what happens. It's very interesting. I'm not a huge fan, to be honest.
Yeah, the change in the golf ball. It's like, okay, well, what's next? The change in the club. What's
Right.
next? I'm not gonna not let tour players work out so much. So
Exactly. No, it's
where does it end, and how do they curtail it? I don't know any other sport that really just says, hey, we want to really limit the performance of our professionals. And everybody loves to see the long ball. Everybody loves to see Bryson, hit those massive drives, and that drive that Cam Smith hit at the Players, a
Yeah.
little while back, on
Yes.
375 to win that tournament. That's what the people love. The fans and the enthusiasts of golf love that. So, in short, one more time, Shaun, tell us how they can find you, and the promo code that we set up for our listeners.
So they can find us on foundgolfballs.com, and it's found like I lost something. FOUND golfballs.com. And we're offering right now 20% off for your listeners for the year. And that code is going to be Golfers Unite 20, GOLFERSUNITE 20. And that's good for the year. And that is a 5% increase out of what everybody gets. So this is a limited coupon offer, and it's a great deal.
Fantastic. Shaun Scheinfeld, co-founder of foundgolfballs.com. We appreciate your time, and thanks you all for listening to another episode of Let's Go Low. This is your host, Jeff Stanislaw with Golfers Unite.